Many years ago, I saw a movie called The Highlander, and it was about some dude that came from another constellation, and they came to find the others, and it was set in kind of like medieval times from what I remember. And was it called Highlander? Who was it? Dolph Lundgren? Someone? Don't know. Years, 30, 40 years ago I see that movie. But the bit I remember that stood out for me was the bit that said, we've got to find the others. When a couple of them came upon each other, they'd realise that they were the same variety, and then they'd band together to find the others. And I feel very much like that. I feel that my mission has been to find the others, and they're one in a million. When you look around, and I've said this on many occasions, you see lots of my viewers these days, they don't realise that I've been doing this for like 13 years. And I've made in excess of 4,000 videos, and I've spoke about a whole myriad of stuff. And some people can say to me, can you do a video about this, can you do a video about that? I can't do videos upon requests about things I've already covered, because what I do is I am a portal for spirit, for consciousness, which guides me into doing what I'm supposed to be doing, what I've come here to do. And so I don't pick a subject that I'm going to be speaking about. I don't contrive anything. I don't say, oh, I'm going to make a video about this and then start writing down a few notes. Never. I just have a notion that I've got something to say. I turn on the camera and I say it. And I won't go back over ground that I've covered, like all the experiences I've had with shrooms and astral projection, and all the myth busting I've done, drinking my own urine, and different diets I've been on. There's so many things over the years, always engaged in something. And so I won't revisit anything. I've done it. But what I will say, in my book, I've written about the most powerful and poignant of things in relation to my spiritual development, because that's what the focal point of the book is. How I have become a very finely tuned spiritual being, and I suppose I'm looking for the portal to home. I'm looking to see how I get back to home. And so, finding the others, some of the others may have some of the information that I need. So that's why I want to find the others. And so we look at the massive diversity of what is called the Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens means wise man. Well, there's very few of those around, let me tell you. There's mankind, which is kind of a man, kind of a Homo sapiens. An enormous array of variants with intellect and consciousness, and many differing varieties of spirit, which I believe have come from different constellations to have a human experience. And those that are manipulating the world. I think they are very archonic. You know, the archons, or like what are those creatures in Star Trek? What are they called? The Borgs. They just want to take over and feed on the human being. And I go, well, look, that's a fair enough thing to do. It's what happens in this particular dimension. Maybe it's also a cosmic law that the lesser beings are food for the higher beings. And so everything has its rhyme and reason. When we look at cows and sheep, we don't have any problem farming them, culling them, slaughtering them, eating them, do we? Why don't we have a problem with that? Because their intelligence is less than ours. And we can see that there's nothing there that we have a kinship with. But when it comes to lions and tigers and bears and creatures like that, who evidently have a much higher state of sentience and consciousness, well, we leave those alone. We respect those. And in the old days, of course, we wouldn't make any distinction because we just need the food and any animal would suffice. But because now we have mastered wasp, the farming aspect, and so, well, we've got these domestic beasts all over the place and they're so easy for us, and so we just live on those. And we leave the intelligent ones alone. We respect those, and we give certain parts of the world to them on some occasions. And so, well, why wouldn't a higher species of alien do that to us? Why wouldn't they come down here and farm us? You know, there's no reason why they wouldn't. And so when we look at the massive variance of intelligence in relation to the so-called Homo sapiens, well, we can see that there is a particular variety which is vastly over and above the intelligence of those on the lower rung of the ladder. And they are doing what nature does. And so they've decided to herd the world and extract their life force, their energy out of them, and they put them to use in building roads and aeroplanes and computers and all the infrastructure to make their life easier and to make their agenda much more simple. And so they get us, they train us into what they want us to produce. We produce it and then they use it to take mastery over us. And so the vast majority of people, they don't know that they're building their own prison. And when they are producing these cameras and all these surveillance and all these huge computer servers and all that, they just have little idea, like sheep out in the grazing field, fattening up their bellies every single day. They've got no idea of the agenda. But when you are intelligent, then you can see very, very clearly what the agenda is. And I've always maintained that I don't have a problem with it, because I believe that it will never affect me. And so far in all my life, it doesn't matter what they do, it never has an effect upon me which takes me out of the ideal world. My ideal world is to feed on the beast. Now you see, it's kind of like the agenda is to enslave the whole world. But when you look at how they're doing it, when you are intelligent, you can see that there are loopholes which you can just slip through. And it's a bit like if they're trying to catch a certain size fish. If you are a fish that slips through the net, if you are like an octopus, for instance, an octopus is a big animal on lots of occasions, you know, relatively, but they can squeeze through the tiniest of little portals, and so they could never catch an octopus in one of their nets. They'll very quickly slip out, and so that's what I am. I'm an octopus, and I get this monster working for me. At least if it's not working for me, then it cannot see me. It doesn't have a problem with me. It's kind of like I'm one of these fish that hang around the jaw of a shark. The shark doesn't pay them any mind because the shark knows that they have a benefit. Because these fish, they're parasitical and they feed on the parasites of the shark. So the shark have a relationship with them. They have a symbiotic relationship. And so I, in one respect, have a symbiotic relationship with the government because I'm too clever for them to manipulate me and to enslave me. But I serve a purpose for them because I give them purpose. There's a certain sector of the human enslaved society which has this I'm trying to look for the word. Oh, it's to do with compassion for the human being. You see, the machine, it has to allow a certain facet of compassion to be within the system, and that compassion comes out in state benefit, looking after those that can't look after themselves. And so there's people that are employed to serve them, and they need a certain amount of people on benefit to justify their positions, their whole establishment. Like certain sectors of government, they are given to supplying people in need, people that qualify for benefit. So there is a certain sector of society which I am giving livelihood to. If it wasn't for people on benefit, then they wouldn't have a job. So you see, it's not entirely parasitical. It serves a purpose on one level. And so I'm coming in here because I was talking to my mate about certain fungi which is up here, and I can see that there's some shaggy ink caps, just a couple over there, but because I'm heavily laden with shopping, then I won't go as far as them now. But you know, we're fortunate enough because our country, what it's done, it's enslaved, or it's been very significant in the world enslavement, and because we are the belly of the beast, then the belly of the beast needs certain parasitical forms to generate health within the belly. We've all got little creatures which, if they get too many, it gets out of control, then it will cause an upset stomach and the like. But just with a optimum amount, then we feed upon bacteria and things that the body doesn't want, and so we are useful to the beast. So the beast allows us to continue, and so that's where I am. I'm in the belly of the beast, and I'm serving a purpose. And because I can keep shape-shifting, then I'll always manage to fit that bill. I'll always, like a chameleon, be able to give them what they want. And so I just sit like in the eye of the storm, and I watch this chaos going on all around me. And the reason why I'm speaking about this now is because I've just come back from the supermarket and everything's going up just absurdly, really absurdly. When I said to the girl on the cashier, I said, so how much do you think things percentage-wise have gone up in the last year? And she says, oh, lots of stuff, over 50%. For instance this and for instance that, but I think probably generally about 35% in 1 year. And I said, has your wages reflected this? She said, well, they've gone up a little bit, but you know, they've not gone up by the amount of percentage that all the foods have gone up. And so you will know this, you who you know, probably that are working for yourselves. I know there's a lot of people that are not working. That's why, you know, you have a certain kingship with me, because we're kind of a similar breed. And people who are not working, they've got, you know, all their time for leisure to follow my copious amounts of videos. So it's like turning a new page within your favourite book each time that one of my videos comes up. Whereas anyone that's working, they just don't have the time. They're completely inundated. And so all the people that don't watch the vast majority of my videos, then I'm not addressing them. I'm always addressing you, the ones that have been hanging around for a long time. And you know, if you've been watching me for years and years and years, then you know, I'm prodding you into revealing yourself, for God's sake, a little bit now and again. But you know, fear is a very powerful thing, and so, you know, being attracted to a channel called Awakened and Brave, well, obviously I attract a lot of sleeping cowards, and you know, some of the viewers, they may be a little bit awoken, but they're still very cowardice, still very much cowardice. And you know, I was reading an excerpt out of The Second Coming of Christ, and this book is always so powerful and so poignant every day I read it. And it is saying, I'm in the last few pages of the first volume, and it says, Jesus was speaking to his disciples, saying that, look, you're going to get hung, drawn and quartered out there. They're going to hunt you, they're going to beat you, they're going to do all different sorts of things to you, they're going to incarcerate you. You have to stay strong, you have to stay true, because if you don't, if you fall into cowardice, then God will not support you. But if you retain your God consciousness, your Christ spirit, then God will have a place for you. And so, you know, it evidently isn't in this world, because there's been many prophets and people like that have been persecuted and burnt at the stake, and you know, God never protected them in this dimension. Whether he does or not in the dimension, who knows. But what I will say, what I took from that is, be true to yourself. And Peterson's always on about, be true to yourself. Look at your shadow, accept your failings and work on them, and don't deny them, and don't be projecting onto other people. You know, accept that which is true about you, stay true to yourselves. And okay, so you've got failings, we've all got failings. Accept you've got failings, admit you've got failings. Don't ever be shy about admitting your failings. And even, you know, openly confess your failings like I do. Because that way you empower yourself. Because nobody can attack you with something that they discover that you're hiding. I don't hide nothing. It's all out there. And so, when Jesus knew he was going to be departing, he left those thoughts with his prophets, his apostles. Stay true. Don't be cowards. Stand by your convictions and don't buckle under pressure. And so I'll impart that to you guys. Don't be cowards hiding behind some stupid YouTube name. No name, no picture, anonymous. You think you're anonymous. You think you're hiding and you're below the radar. You know, they've got your number. They know exactly who you are. They know exactly who I am. Don't get to thinking that they know more about me than they do you. They've got exactly the same data on you as they have me. And it's just a case of who they're going to be coming for first. It's not going to be me. They're going to be coming for the weak. They're always coming for the weak first. They're always preying on the weak. And so they'll be farming you guys up. They'll be farming you up into their psychological slave labour camps. Well, you're already in them, of course. You're already in the fear labour camp. They've already got you mostly where they want you. That's why you're hiding. People like me, you know, we serve the beast, and so they'll allow us to continue. It's like David Icke and Alex Jones, and look at all this. They still allow them because they serve. There's a purpose. There's a reason, and the reason is that we bring out all of the kinfolk. We bring out all of the like-minded, so they can see who's who, and the ones that they're going to need a small portion of thinking people. And so percentage-wise, if you scraped off all the thinking people from the internet, it's a small portion. And they're not going to need the vast majority of non-thinking people, of scaredy cats. And so it's those that are going to be culled. And so I have every confidence that I'm protected. I don't have a problem with being what I am. I came here to do what I'm doing, and I do it with impunity, and I do it by being furnished with everything I need. That is what I absolutely know.